Hello and welcome back. I'm sorry it's taken so long for me to get here, but a few major things have occurred in the time between the last video and now. The first is I'm now a married man. I'm officially spoken for. Very excited about that. We went on a trip and I ended up leaving my job. There's just been quite a few things going on in the background, and I haven't had time to work on the Jeep. But hopefully now that January is here, I'll be able to make a little bit more time for it on the weekdays as well as the weekend. Today is Sunday. I have not touched this Jeep since the last video, the day before, whenever that went out, so probably like late September, I want to say, maybe October. And I'm very excited to get back onto it. Alright, if you want me to paint these black so that you think they're impact rated, I'd be happy to, but I'm kind of lazy, so. Excuse me. A little sway bar. Oh, are you kidding me? These aren't going to be tall enough. Okay, no, we're good. That sway bar is just in the way. Huh, okay, well, I'm going to try the back one. I want to see if these will even budge before I do anything else. Of course. Damn it, get on. Wow. One moved. That's cool. Imagine that. Okay. Let's try this one here. Yep. They are a moving. Oh, come on. God, I love having an impact. Okay, so I went ahead and disconnected the sway bars and also pulled the bolts off the bottom of the shocks. And I went ahead and put jack stands underneath the axle. Also, Joe, the same guy with the 924, was the one who gave me these awesome ESCO jack stands, which I, again, thank him for. They have been such a help the past couple of years, working on the various nonsense that I do. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the shocks all the way, and then start working on these bolts on both sides. I'm just going to show you this side, because why would I bother showing you the same thing twice? I'm going to do this side, and work on getting the leaf springs out after that. So I'll probably show you some things here and there, but I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing. So here we go. Alright, unfortunately these back two are just too difficult to really be able to get to with the impact. So I'm going to do them the old-fashioned way, while thinking in my head the whole time, because it is boring, and I know, I'm sorry you can't actually see what I'm doing, but I'm just removing the bolts off, or the nuts off these U-bolts. I have the outer one off on this side already. I'm amazed that they aren't totally sucking ass, because everything that I've heard about these says that they would, and given my experience with the front suspension, which I'm sure was at least part of the reason why I delayed on this project for so long. I expected them to really fight me, but I have periodically been coming in here and putting, WD-40 and penetrating oil and all that nonsense on all these rear suspension bolts because I anticipated them giving me a fight. So, what is that phrase? Something about luck coming to those who are prepared or something. I don't know. That's what it feels like. Come in. There's the little sway bar plate. Wow, that is in a really weird spot. I have to kind of snake it between this brake line. What's it called on the bottom? Come on. It's gonna be fun to get a new one in there. There we go. There's number 2. So that leaf spring, in theory, is now disconnected from the axle, apart from that little retaining nut. But I'll get that off. What? Oh, no, that's to keep the spring together. I've never worked with leaf springs before. I've always had coils. So this is a little bit of a new experience for me. I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll come back and hopefully get the leaf springs out of here. Alright, so I took the shock off the other side, and I just undid the bolts for this one. But I want to show you something. These things were connected by this little, looks like an airline or something. But I mean, it is so shoddily done. Like it wraps through the little strap for the gas tank, and I don't know if that's factory or not, but if it is, they did a terrible job. It's literally dangling. But anyway, that's one more step closer. So I was too lazy to get on my back, so instead I used the old double extension to get the top bolts off of the shocks. So what I'm looking at now, I think the last things that I have to do for this step, which are the leaf spring bolts. I don't know why I'm putting them off like I am, because I'm sure they'll come out one way or another, but I just really don't want to do that. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and get started on those, and I'll get back to you once I know a little bit more. Hello. The leaf spring bolts are not pushing, budging. So I figured take a look at the brakes while I got some PB Blaster going, and I'm recharging the impact. So let's take a gander. What a pleasant noise. Get in. There we go. Alright, so a little bit of dust in there. There's no serious ridges, which I'm kind of surprised about. I mean, there's a little bit. Those probably could have been turned, but I have new ones anyway. So those are going in the garbage. Wow, those pads are at the end of their life. Can you see that? I don't know if you can or not, but like here's the width of the like bent sheet metal. And then it's almost exactly the same width as what's left of the drums. Wow, okay, there actually are no, or sorry, not drums, but shoes. There is literally no material left on those. I'm going to detach you and show you. Alright, look at this. Do you see that? You can actually see that's metal that was contacting. I'm amazed there aren't worse ridges. That's obscene. But, I mean, everything looks there, I guess. I think I have a whole new kit somewhere for all the brake drum stuff. It would have been nice to put discs on this, but at that point I might as well replace the Dana 35, and at that point I might as well gear it better, so I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Not before I ever even drive it. Alright, am I going to read any instructions before doing this for the first time, or am I just going to regret it later? That's the real question. I wonder if I have new cylinders. That would be a game changer. It's always cool when you get to use something for its intended purpose. And the craziest part is it's not even that good at it. I wonder how many times I can do that before I learn my lesson. Apparently a couple. There we go. Let's get in there. There's one. Okay. And how easily can that be cut? Oh, no, let's not cut that. Oh, no, okay. Thought that was the e-brake wire for a minute, but it isn't. This is the e-brake part. And it looks like that was snaked around the back side of it, maybe? Oh, this will be really fun to put together if I don't even know how to take it apart. Alright, well, once the impact battery is brought back to life, I'll go ahead and continue with this, but for the moment I would like to go home. I have some things at home I have to attend to, and I will see you on a new day. See you later. Alright, welcome back. It is a new day. I left the heater on last night, which means it's actually comfortable in here. It's not warm, but it's not the 23 degrees that outside is right now. This morning on my way here, I picked up some new wheel cylinders that I sure hope are the right ones. I cleaned this up just a little bit yesterday. I mean, it's still not good, but yeah, it's fine. I'm probably gonna just spray that off a little bit and try to clean it up when I can. But everything is charged up. I should be good to go on whatever it is I need to do today. Oh, and I also picked up a 13/16 impact socket that'll hopefully be long enough to actually hit the bolts on the back of the leaf springs. So with that, I guess we should probably get to work, huh? Okay, so I just fought with this side, got the front on. This one's a lot simpler. It's just this one spring and then the little spear retainer situation. At the back, I'm going to have to balance a couple different things at once. I need to balance the emergency brake apparatus thing with however it allegedly connects in the boot, which I'm still trying to figure out. That looks like the most logical place to me, but then it doesn't really seem to fit on the bottom, and so I'm trying to look on the other side to see. But this little retainer spring thing, basically what you need to do is, while holding the brake in place and all that, is you need to spear through the back of the brake drum thing, get this through the spring, god damn it, alright, get it through the spring, and then through here and turn it so it doesn't come back. It is such a pain to do. And now that spring is gone forever, but I'll go get it back. All while keeping this in its general place. I hate this. Drum brakes are dumb. I don't know why America was still using them in the 90s, but here we are. I'm on the right side of it. At least it's going back together slowly, but it is doing it. So I'll come back once I have this part figured out. Alright, these 5mm gloves from Harbor Freight are what I'm using right now, and these 7mm are what I was using yesterday. One set of these gloves, even though there's only 50 in here and there's 100 in here, this lasted me all day yesterday without ripping. This is already my second pair that I've ripped in about 20 minutes. So if you want good gloves for around the shop and all that, get the 7mm, for God's sake. Anyway, that's the end of that rant. Alright, so I think I have everything buttoned up. I'm going to go ahead and start trial fitting the new drum on top of this until I get the right amount of resistance. And then, before I button everything up fully, I'm going to show you in detail everything where it is. And then I'm going to call this project done on this side. And I don't want to think about drum brakes for a little while, so I'm going to try to finish the leaf springs. So, here we go. Wonder how many times I'm going to do that today. I might be able to skip the gym. So that has almost no resistance to it. Now let's see if I pull the emergency brake. If it gets some resistance. Hey, look at that, I did something and it worked. That's cool. That makes me all proud. Yeah. Okay, so here is a more up-close view of all of that. So this is the emergency brake cable situation. It comes around here and mounts down here on the bottom of this little L-shaped contraption, which goes against here. There's the adjuster, and then a spring that keeps them together. And then here's the other one of those, and back in here there's a bar as well with a spring on one side. So that is the inner workings of all that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the leaf spring, trying to get it off and let this charge for a little bit, and then we will continue on. Hello there. I don't even know how long it's been at this point, but a bunch of stuff is happening all at once. I got the rear leaf springs roughly in place. This bolt broke, so I had to sawzall it, and I tried to weld it solid. That didn't work. So I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'll figure that out when I get to it. But I stupidly welded one of the leaf spring bracket things to that old brake drum because I was bored. And so today I had to go to the scrapyard, and I picked up some goodies. I have 2 new ones of those, and the blinkers don't work in this, so I also picked up some of those. This is such a mess right now, but I've been fighting this for like at least a month now. But today I need to finally put it all together, do the other brake drum, change out some brake lines, and get it on the ground. Because I have parts coming for a Volkswagen that I bought recently. It's just over here. Over there in that corner. It's a little 6-speed TDI sport wagon. The DPF and EGR and all that's all messed up on it, so that's deleting stuff, which I'm very excited about. Other stuff that's happened with the Jeep since we've last spoken. I had the radiator redone and the gas tank, and I also replaced the coil, and just for good measure also put in a new fuel pump. So I'm hoping it'll start. I've owned this thing for a year now and I still haven't heard it start. I think I might have too many things going at once. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and zap those brackets on, get the rear axle reattached, and then we will meet up again. Alright, so I got ahead of myself. The leaf springs are on enough. The little sway bar things, these mounts are slightly different widths depending on which axle you have. I have the shitty one, but if you have the Chrysler 8 1/4, apparently they're a little bit wider. So now I have to go back to the junkyard to get the other sway bar with the little mounts on them. But now is an exciting moment. Let's see how she looks. I don't have shocks on the front or the back at the moment. Oh, please, come on. There we go. Do you like the ASMR of my struggling to breathe? Alright, let's drop her down and see how she looks. Sitting on her own. That looks pretty good. I'm sure that God damn it. I'm sure the rear will drop a little bit once I cycle it around a little bit, but that part's done. I'm gonna go get some gas. Alright, on this dark and stormy night, I found the engine control 30 amp fuse was blown, so that might have been my issue. So let's see. I hear it clicking back here. Okay. I have more lights now. I wonder if my radio works now. That's what that noise is. It's the radio clicking on. Cool. I also replaced the radio fuse. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I took the heated rear window one out and replaced the engine control with it. So took it out of there and put it there. And that didn't seem to do anything for me. Did I blow this one? Ow. No. However, you can see this one is very clearly blown. So, why would getting rid of the heated rear window stop the starter from starting? Does that seem weird to anyone else? I went ahead and just made a little jumper wire for the moment over that engine control 30 amp fuse. So let's see what happens. Fucking finally. Wow, it is horribly loud. Because it's just an open header. There's no exhaust in it at all. So it runs. How about that? Alright, moving on. I am going to get started on replacing the front brakes. First thing I'm doing is removing the caliper. Sorry it isn't focused. And apparently there's brake fluid in this, so now I need to find a way to capture that. But once I get the caliper off, we'll continue. Alright, so I should stress, you don't actually need to remove the caliper completely from the car. You can hang it, but I have new brake lines from the Rusty's lift kit. So I figured I might as well just, you know, remove it completely. That way it's not hanging and I don't have to deal with it. But here is the disc, and slides right off as well. Look at all that gunk in there. That is nasty. So, actually the bearing feels really good, which I'm happy about. But I'm gonna just scrape all that out and put the new disc on, and we'll continue. Alright, one little rubber is replaced. These, they just come apart like so. So, really not a one-hand job. You pull this out, take the rubber out, put the new rubber in, and then put the bearing back in, and then you put this one in there, and then this one slides over this. So that's how that works. Then you slap it back on the car, slap this is the front brake line on there, and reattach it at the top, and then bleed them. So that's the front brakes. You saw the much more complicated rear brakes. I don't know why we as a people ever thought that drum brakes were acceptable. This is so much easier. Anyway, I'm gonna slap this together and Bob's your uncle. Alright, so new plan. That piston is really stuck. So I'm gonna put the wheel back on, take the other caliper off, and strip them both down, maybe paint them just so it looks nice, and rebuild them. So I think I'm just gonna wrap it up here. I think this has been an ADHD filled episode anyway. I don't even know where we started. But a bunch of stuff is done. The rear suspension is pretty much put together. I accidentally threw away the stuff for the shocks, so like the little nuts and bolts from the old ones, so I need to source some. But I'm gonna go ahead and call the suspension put together. I think that's a fair assessment. It's 90% of the way there. I just need to lubricate it and tighten everything down. So thanks for watching. See you next time.